Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you guys doing? How did you wake up? How is your day progressing? It is the 2nd of March, 2023 at 7:23 a.m. I'm your girl, Mom, a little bit of the Afro Punk Queen on the Breakfast Jam, where we're all about that throwback therapy. You're always tuned in to us at www.iconradio.co.ke, and our YouTube channel is youtube.com/an icon radio ke, where we are indeed live. My lines are already open, waiting for your Gonya to come in hot and heavy. So you can reach out to me on 0788380030. That's plus 254-788-380030. If you want to reach out to me personally, Nyar Fox on Instagram, Twitter at Maloba, full, and I'll follow back. 100% guaranteed. Yes, our hashtags are Icon Radio KE, The Breakfast Jam, and the Afro Punk Queen. Yes, a lot to look forward to today, a lot to kind of like check out in the scenes right here at Icon Radio. We're going to be having within the next hour Mr. Waithaka Mukuria. Let me tell you, this guy is a vibe. He comes in heavy with all the tea you need to hear, and of course his experience as a producer and script writer. So for those who are in the creative industry, you really need to be tuned in and check out what he has to say, as well as what's been going on in the streets of Nairobi with the Real Housewives. That's going to be an amazing show. We also have the boys who are coming in later on with myself on the vault. That'll be between 10 and 12. Let me tell you, Jirongi has been one busy guy on them social media streets. It has just been crazy. If you follow him, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you'll find out today. And you know when he comes in with that kind of a vibe, it's going to be a very interesting show. Kind of hard for me, a very interesting show nonetheless. We also have MC Sharon, who also has her own tea to spill, and just, let it all go on the microphone. So it's going to be a very interesting day. And then later on in the day, that is between 3 and 5 p.m. Why we have Sais and Davi, Ed, Nafsi, Huru coming through for the hookup with a whole bunch of guys who do ciphers from Wise Guy Entertainment. So that's going to be off the chains, off the hook, crazy. And if you know you like it strictly Kenya, this is where you need to be. So that's what's happening later on today. When we come back, we'll be looking at the news, making the headlines today, as well as how your weather is looking. So be sure to keep it here and let people know you're tuned in to the Breakfast Jam with Mara Maloba. And let me tell you, there's one song in hip hop that you didn't know and you call yourself a hip hop head. It would have to be Shookwad's Part 2 with hey, even I'm forgetting the name and I'm saying that. Yes, it was Mob Deep. Mob Deep with Shook Once. That was one of the biggest hip hop tunes of the 90s. I'm telling you, like literally, for you to prove that you had your hip hop card in check, you had to know that track. Ah, man, takes me back. And that's all we do this morning. We take you right back on that throwback therapy on the Breakfast Jam with your girl, Mara Maloba, the African Queen. And for now, we're getting straight into the news. And of course, if you want to weigh in, just hit me up on +254 788 380030. All right. Now, it would seem that the State House has changed protocol and introduces fasting. Now, social media was awash on Wednesday, March 1st, after reports went rife of mandatory fasting for State House staff every Wednesday. The changes, which began on Wednesday, meant that no food would be provided and staff would not be allowed to come with food into the premises. Speaking to Kenyans.co.ke, a highly placed source who was privy to the matter confirmed the reports. He, however, added the changes were yet to be made official. Concerns were raised about whether the prayers would be guided and if prayer points would be provided at the State House. Others wondered whether the changes would be imposed on all the staff regardless of their religion. The reports elicited debate on social media, with some arguing that it used to happen rather in Karen when President William Ruto was a deputy president. Further, Kenyans online opined that religion ought to be a freedom of choice and not imposed. Now, those arguing that this used to happen in Kari when Ruto was DP, so we should not complain now because we did not complain then. An injustice is an injustice, and it doesn't matter the time it is addressed, according to one person. Another person said, forcing public servants to fast is an illegality. It is unconstitutional. This is not even fasting, it's withdrawal of people's right to eat. This is according to strategist Pauline Joroge. Now, the news came on the backdrop of a report from Infotrack that revealed a section of Kenyans hailed President Ruto's steadfastness in religion. According to Infotrack, State of the Nation, 5% of optimistic Kenyans stated that Kenya was headed in the right direction because President Ruto is God-fearing. In September 2022, barely a month after being sworn in, Ruto invited at least 40 bishops at State House to cast out demons. Well, this is new. When I grew up in my religion, fasting was a personal choice. It wasn't a group activity. It wasn't court mandated. It wasn't part of any constitution. It is a personal choice between you and your God. So if you decide to fast, you know exactly why you are fasting. It's for one reason or another. It's not just something you just happen to. It's a conscious decision on what you are giving up and why you are giving it up. And true, a good question was asked. Does it apply to all religions within the State House? It's, oh man, religion sometimes can really just, there's a lot of blurred lines when it comes to that. A lot of blurred lines. All right. Elsewhere, MPs pile pressure on Ruto to declare stance on LGBT. Now, members of parliament piled pressure on President William Ruto to declare his stand on the LGBTQ community following the ruling on the Supreme Court allowing them to register associations. Speaking on the floor of the National Assembly, Likoni MP Mishi Mboko put President Ruto's proclamation of the Christian faith to the test, asking him to openly declare the undertaking of the community is as illegal. Mboko was taken aback by the deafening silence of the head of the state on an issue of the national importance in the country. Mboko said, I want to see the president speak on this matter and rebuke it as openly as he professes the Christian faith. Her sentiments were reiterated by Mwangi North counterpart Paul Nzengo and Kaloleni lawmaker Paul Katana. Zengu asked Ruto to borrow a leaf from Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni. Zengu remarked, if Museveni, who does not so open about his Christianity, refused to bow to the pressure of sanctions, then let Kenya not accept any money or donations that are tied to the legalizing of homosexuality. Boko argued that homosexuality was a threat to the population of the country, which is already dwindling because of drought, disease, and natural attrition. She strongly protested the ruling by the apex court, arguing that allowing them to form an association would birth other activities which are violations of the Constitution of Kenya and Penal Code. Now, let's address the Constitution of Kenya just a little bit. According to the Constitution, it is said that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong, that what is illegal is the act, not the fact that you declare yourself as a homosexual, not the fact that you form associations around the community. It's the fact that you engage in the act. Secondly, why is this country so infatuated with the community? Like, why is it become such a national debate? Why is it become such a national problem? Like, let me tell you what my problem is. My problem is delving so much and so hard into the community when there are when there are predators walking outside there and messing up homes, defiling children, all in the name of I'm messed up in the head, and saying, well, even if I do it, I'm not gay. It really is a messed up situation in our country right now. COVID opened up this whole Pandora box about what people are doing to each other. I think a lot more needs to be looked into GBV and SGBV cases, as as much as they're looking into what they call an issue of homosexuality. It's crazy to open up YouTube, yeah, and see stories about this every single day. You do realize every time you guys talk about it, you are bringing more attention to it. You are in your own way also glorifying it for somebody who wants it to be taken out of the society. People are putting way too much time into this issue. I feel people are putting way too much time. And if the president doesn't feel it's worth tackling at this time, when we have issues of drought and famine and lack of water and prices are going high and inflation and all of these, I don't think he would give as much attention to that as he would the issue of homosexuality. For those who are really, as in, like, oh man, I feel like, in my opinion, and again, opinions are like armpits, everybody's carbon, it's being glorified way too much, and there's a lot being put out onto the internet, more than you think should be happening. All right. Anyway, moving on swiftly, we do have the Chinese government who appealed to Kenya over China Square controversy. Now, Chinese embassy in Kenya urged the Kenyan government to protect the interests of Chinese enterprises and Chinese citizens in the wake of recent controversy surrounding China Square. Now, in a statement issued on Wednesday, March 1st, the embassy noted that creating a business-friendly environment would strengthen the bilateral ties between the two nations. In addition to such a conducive environment, would bolster China-Kenya for the benefit of both countries. The embassy also challenged Chinese nationals in the country to conduct business in accordance with Kenyan laws and regulations. The embassy urged the government of President William Ruto to intervene and create an equal and business-friendly for Chinese investors and traders. The embassy's statement was echoed by China's Director General of the Department of African Affairs of the Foreign Ministry, Wu Peng, who called for tolerance and the creation of a non-discriminatory environment between the two nations. He said, I believe that through collective efforts, China-Kenya cooperation will better benefit both people. The special envoy added that Kenya had also benefited from some of the Chinese-run companies that set shop in Kenya in recent years. China Square on Sunday, February 26, announced its indefinite closure after reviewing its business model. closure comes days after Trade Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria stated that he had offered Kenya University to buy out the lease of China Square, instead lease it to local traders. Man, I didn't even get to check it out. I didn't get to see the prices they were talking about. I didn't get to see all the things that were inside that store. Ah, man. But it is, again, a case of, relations. It's very, very interesting, especially, how the whole um, thing with the SGR read out and the clauses that were put in by the Chinese to Kenya and what we agreed to sign. So the words that are being used, like they urge the Kenyan government, they would like to see the benefit of both countries. I feel it's very, very heavy, heavy on the language and very insisting. Let me just put it out there straight. I feel it's very, very insisting on, let's make this work kind of connotation. I don't know. Let me know what you think on our WhatsApp number. That's +254 7883800030. Please weigh in and let me know your thoughts. We'll get back into the music, and when we come back, we'll finish the last bit of the news making the headlines today. Of course, you guys weighing in help me, discuss these things further. I'm not the best at all of this, but of course, I bring you the news as it is. All right, back to the music we go and continue on with your throwback therapy. Ooh, it's that kind of day. It's that kind of day. It's that kind of day in studio today. That was the Beat Nuts with Off the Books. Give you that throwback therapy for your morning. We already have Waithaka Mukuria in the building. And he's looking nice and fresh, having his coffee waiting to come on air and spill all the tea. I can't wait to have him on. So be sure to just click on that button and press play. All right. Let's get straight into it with the rest of the news making the headlines today. Now, it man, the Standard Group, man, Standard Group, these are not looking too good as groups as key services are suspended. Now, the ongoing crisis at the cash-strapped Standard Group is far from over if the latest developments are anything to go by. Staff at the listed giants were on Tuesday, March 1st, slapped with a notice announcing suspension of a key welfare service. According to a notice seen by the press, Standard Group employees received a memo from the Human Resource Department informing them of the discontinuation of catering services, pointing to a dire situation with no hope in sight. The staff were advised to make alternative arrangements for their meals as the company continues to grapple with the financial crisis. It read, "We wish to inform you that cafeteria services are temporarily suspended. We are actively working to find a solution to ensure that your meal needs are met. In the meantime, we recommend that you make alternative arrangements for your meals. Apologies for the inconvenience caused." A source revealed that the staff working from the office were initially entitled to 3 meals ranging from 10 a.m. tea break, 1 p.m. lunch, 4 p.m. tea break, and 6 p.m. dinner. The staff would pick a meal ticket from the cafeteria and be served a meal from the contracted caterers. The source also affirmed that a plate of a meal would cost 270 for every staff. So dire is the situation rather that some of the staff resorted to sleeping inside the offices owing to salary arrears. The media house has witnessed arguably the worst talent hemorrhage ever, with competition turning into a poaching field. Over the years, the company prides of strong brands that have become household names among Kenyans. These brands under its enviable portfolio include KTN News, KTN Home, Radio Maisha, Farmers TV, Burudani TV, Spice FM, and Vibes Radio. Some of the latest names to disembark the Titanic ship include Frederick Odeo Sirari, Frank Otieno, Ted Malanda, Sheila Kwamboka, Linda Oriaso, and Geoffrey Monguo. A number of journalists who have left Standard Group's Radio Maisha are set to join Radio 47, owned by Cape Media. To add on to that, there are more guys leaving Radio Maisha as the count continues to grow. As I had mentioned, celebrated presenter Bill Mia on Wednesday 1st, confirmed reports that he is leaving the Mombasa Road-based media house. Speaking to the press, the seasoned presenter known for his evening drive show, Billy Nambaruk, it admitted that he was set to leave the Standard Media Group-owned station after his last show on Friday, March 3rd. He added that he would join the newly launched Radio 47 as part of the broadcasting team. Mwalimu also confirmed that his time for parting ways with Radio Maisha was nigh after his stint spanning over 5 years. The duo was known for its hilarious commentary on different topics while on air. Their chemistry, coupled with their turn-taking techniques and mastery of key trends, made them one of the best pairs in Swahili radio broadcasting. Man, that's where I started off my career, so it's really, really hard to see what's happening right now and to continue just reading news from that particular media group coming out every single time I open the news. So, of course, I'm praying for my friends who are there, and of course, it's praying for the best and hoping that they're able to come out of this even stronger. All right, we're exactly at 8:04 a.m. And Thursday is all about that adulting content. So today we're talking about everything reality TV as well as the creative industry with Waithaka Mukuria, who is a veteran in this industry from the time he was a teenager. So stand by for that. It's going to be an amazing show, and be sure to weigh in on our WhatsApp number. That's 078-838-0030, and youtube.com/@ Icon Radio KE. Let's get straight into it. This is the Breakfast Jam. That was Saudi Soul getting us started off on this hour where we show love for the 254, the Breakfast Jam. I'm your girl, Mara Malo, the Afro Punk Queen, where we are streaming live on www.iconradio.co.ke, youtube.com/ at Icon Radio KE. Of course, like, subscribe, show us some love because we do love to hear from you guys. Of course, hit that comment section because we do have the Waithaka Mukuria in studio. Finally. Let me not say finally. You answered that call very fast. I'm very happy. It wasn't a struggle. You didn't tell me I should call my people, that kind of thing. So I just need you to scoot on over closer to the microphone so we can hear you, Vizuri.
All right.
And yes, for those who don't know you, which I find very hard, please introduce yourself.
My name is Waithaka Mukuria.
Mhm.
I am a scriptwriter, producer, director. I started off as an actor, so I'm basically all-rounded in TV and film and stuff.
Yeah.
That's basically it. That's who I am.
In fact, you were the heartthrob in what's it called? It was called Wingula Moto.
Wingula Moto, yeah.
Wingula Moto. When your dreads were just over here, aspiring to be where they are right now.
Yeah, I was playing in Washeras with small brother.
Yes.
Yes.
You had a different frame at that time.
Yes.
You are this light-skinned brother that everybody used to look at and be like, "Ooh, he's so hot."
Then age happened.
And then a change happened. Please, your wife is listening. There's nothing like that.
Hey, babe.
Yes, big shout out to Bella, who we've also had on the show. I love this couple. Let me tell you, very enterprising. If you look back on our YouTube channel, she was here for Money Mondays. She's a baker extraordinaire. She did my cake for my wedding. So yes, big shout out to Bella, Mukuria as well. All right, so you started off acting. Of course, you went to school for what you do right now.
Yes. So, I didn't go to school for acting. My acting career started in high school.
Right.
When I was in highway. And basically, when I joined Form 1, this Form 4 people jumped into class and they were looking for people who looked like girls.
Right.
Because our school was only boys. So all those small to light guys, please come with us.
Oh my God.
Come to drama. We need you to put on dresses and dance on stage. and that's my career started from
Oh
there.
my God, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, so noted. Your first stage role was as a girl.
Yes, it was.
Best thing to play. Trust me.
I agree. My life is surrounded by girls. So,
That is, in fact, that's true.
Yeah.
You are a girl dad.
Yeah, my mom, wife, 3 girls in the house.
There we go.
True. Yeah.
Hey, the epitome of just, feminism in the modern world.
You can say that again.
Yes. Hey. All right. And so from there, going now into your career, where did you decide that this is the path I want to take?
So when I was acting in Wingula Moto, I really enjoyed what people were doing behind the scenes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was always curious about the camera work and about how they're shooting the scene,
right,
and all that. And so I just so during the shootings, I would actually just go behind the scenes, and they made me one of the PAs.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I was like, I really want to do this, and I want to create. So I ended up going to school for that. I did a short course in filmmaking at Wilnag. Not a short course, it was like 2 years.
Well, it's as short as it gets. Yeah.
And that was it. Like I fell in love with behind the scenes. I fell in love with creating, writing, especially stories, the creative process behind it, shooting something and seeing it coming to life.
Right.
And I was very at the time I was actually doing events. I was doing events at FAT with Mike Strano.
Right.
And events was great. I mean, it was fun. I traveled a lot, but it still wasn't where my heart was. So after I left FAT, I was so lucky to join Hotel Studios.
Right.
I think one of the best training grounds for anyone getting into film, because Saramigu is just tops.
Right.
And that's where it started. That's where the passion started. I developed we and Abel Mutua developed the Househelps of Kawangware, which was a mega hit, which was fantastic.
Right.
And then I did a lot more stuff, a lot of documentaries, short movies, short films, also shooting Hapakule News at the same time. So that's just where the whole passion grew. And I guess got my niche.
So Two-part question. How old were you when you joined Wingula Motor? Because that's what really introduced you to the industry. And secondly, Real Househelps of Kawangware. I'd like us to delve a little bit more into that, how the concept came about, who inspired it. I'm sure we must be your wife somewhere in the background. Because me and her, we are all about that Ratchet TV. Okay. Unashamedly. We wear the badge and the t-shirt very proudly. But how old were you when you got into Wingula Motor? And then the concept behind Real Househelps of Kawangware?
Okay. When I joined Wingula Motor, I think I was about 21, 22.
Okay.
Yeah. And it ran, well, my stint ran for about 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, so
that was quite some time.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Okay.
It was a fun gig.
Yeah.
On and off, obviously, because we shot in batches of 3 weeks each.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was quite fun.
And it helped that you got to work with all these fine-looking ladies on the set. Jesus, that was a good-looking cast.
Yeah, but they were so much older than me at the time and so much more experience. So it was very. What can I say?
Small brother, big sister kind of situation.
Yeah, that was more of it.
Okay. Oh well. All right. Well, that's very interesting because a lot of people would have taken that opportunity and grabbed it. But yes. Now for Real Househelps of Kawangware, how did the concept come about? And how did you sit down together with Abel Mutua to be able to now put it out onto the screen?
So because of lack of budget, we used to shoot Hapakule News at my house. In at that time I was staying at Naivasha Flats.
Right.
Yeah, on Naivasha Road.
Yes.
So and my wife was actually pregnant at the time, so we'd actually just go and lock her in the room as we shot in the house because TV.
Right.
So she really liked watching the Housewives of Atlanta.
Right.
And that every morning, like, it would be running on the screen and stuff like that. And so when the crew and cast came in, they would find it running on TV. And so we were sitting one day with Abel and we were like, we should do a show like this. Because Hapakula was all about parodies.
Yeah.
So we said, we need to parody this show somehow.
Okay.
And we came up with different concepts, different ideas. But then settled on. And the reason Kawangware is because, like, my version of near Kawangware.
Right.
Yeah, so like, I mean, it's so ready. It's so...
Love
it's
it.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the first, I would say the first skit for Househelps of Kawangware was actually on Hapakule News.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that has the most, I think it's like 5 million views right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was the first one, and it was fantastic. It had the full watchiness, the works, the ratchetness, everything.
Yeah.
And so I said, why don't we develop this into a show?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And that's exactly what we did. So we went and sat outside.
Right.
Watched the Househelps and watched them did their stuff.
Right.
And yeah, that was it.
Right. So Abel Mutua, how did you jump onto the project? That's because you guys were doing it from your house and you were able to come to...
Yeah. So we were both directing and writing the show at Hapakula at the same time.
Right.
And so the initial script for Househelps, I'm the one who wrote it. And then Abel took over from there. So I think I wrote the first 2 episodes.
Right. And
then Abel being, obviously a super script writer, took it over from there.
Right.
With Phil now directing, Philip Karanja.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those guys just murdered that.
Because not a lot of people know that you are actually behind, that everything like literally just came out of your living room.
Yeah. That's what started.
Yeah.
In fact, if you watch the first few episodes...
Yes. It is in your house.
Yeah.
And of course, it became within a very short time. I remember even just talking about it with you guys. They were talking about, how to put it out on YouTube and everything.
Yeah.
And within a very short time, it became one of the most critically acclaimed shows, comedy shows on TV. How many awards did it win?
Oh, wow. I think we have about 4 awards.
4 awards.
4 awards, yeah, for Housewives.
Right. Househelps. Right.
Yeah, no, funny enough. I'll tell you that later. Yeah, about 4 awards.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you also got, I think, recognition also as well for what you did with that, and also Hapakule News. Hapakule, let me tell you, if there's one person who was obsessed with it, it's my husband.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
Like literally the scripting behind it. Did you do the scripting for Hapakule News?
Yes, we did.
It was absolutely genius.
With Fred Omondi as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you literally just left you completely left Househelps for Hapakule News.
I was working on both at the same time.
Both at the same time.
Yeah, so the thing about Hapakule News, we had to shoot every week because we parodied things that were happening at the time.
Right.
Yeah, so anything that happened over that week, we got with parody. So we shot that every week. And Househelps, we shot more in bulk.
Right.
That was continuous. So what I would do, I would sit with my writers for Househelps.
Okay.
And we'd sit down and we'd script like 13 episodes.
Okay.
Okay, then I would give now to the director to continue shooting as I worked on other stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
So when we come back from the break, we're going to get into the casting, because the casting has brought out some of the biggest personalities in showbiz today, and that all started from the work that you guys did with them. So we'll get a bit into that, and of course into the Real Housewives of Nairobi. If you do have any questions for Waithaka, be sure to hit us up on +254 788 0030. If you just like to shout him out as well, be sure to hit us up on youtube.com/@Icon Radio KE on that comment section, or on any of the Icon Radio KE platforms. Let's get into that love for the 254. I come back with more with Waithaka Mukuria. Get the name right. All right, we'll be back after this. That was Hey Baby. That was Maria and Colonel Mustafa, although may know it as Colonel anyway, semantics to potato, tomato, tomato, whatever it is. But they came out in the early 2000s as one of the formidable showbiz couples of that time, and everybody wanted to be like them because they were riding in the sleek cars, holding the sleek phones of that time. They were that couple. But speaking of the showbiz area, we have somebody who's been in it for a very long time. Speaking from acting to directing to events, he's done it all. Let me tell you, if there's something called entertainment, it would be in the headlines. Waithaka Mukuria. Welcome back to the show. All right. So, of course, we've been looking at your career spanning from the time you acted as a girl in your first play to to now, big shows like Wingula Mota, and of course critically acclaimed shows like Househelps of Kawangware and Hapakule. Now into the casting. The casting was, I think, one of the most impeccable things that ever happened in showbiz today. You had people like Njugush, who right now rakes in millions for any kind of endorsement. We have DJ Shitty as well, who also was huge in the scene. How was it creating the cast, and how did you discover the talent?
So the cast was literally just picked from our cast from that was doing Hapakule News.
Okay.
Because remember, it started as a parody
of
Atlanta.
Right.
So on Hapakule News.
Right.
So the cast that did it on Hapakule News, we carried it forward from there. The characters, most of the characters, especially like Jugush, that was all Abel Mutua. First of all,
nice.
Yeah, he's the one who kind of came up with his full name is Hezekiah Tuguna.
Oh,
yes,
Hezekiah Tuguna.
Yeah, he was a guy from Mare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
That's how he started off.
Although I can see it happening.
Yes. He started off as a Mare guy.
Wow.
And the character built from there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shiti came in later on as cousin to another amazing cast member.
Okay.
Trufena Turu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Came in as her cousin.
Okay.
And then, of course, at the end of the day, the actors are the ones who kind of brought these characters to life for us.
Right.
And kind of built their own names. Like even the ladies, Awiti, Jambi, Kerote, Turu.
Yeah.
All those women were just amazing in everything they did. And the second they actually got into their characters and understood the characters.
Yeah.
Writing for them was the simplest thing.
It just took off from there. We had Jambi here the other day in such a vibe. Like she's an introverted person, but like when she comes onto the screen, it's a whole different person. And you tend to see also like it was also behind the writing as well that brought these characters to life. So were most of them plucked off the street? Do they have any real experience in acting before?
Some of them did. They used to do stage plays.
Okay.
At Center. Mm-hmm. And they were just up and coming actresses and actors,
right?
Trying to make it just like I was when I was an actor at the theater. I did set books. I did Man of the People.
Yeah.
I did Keep to Work in Via Mchanga, and we traveled with that show around Kenya.
Right.
Schools.
Set books.
Yeah, set books. Yeah, I mean, so as an actor, you have to start somewhere.
That's true.
Yeah, and I did plays at the theater as well. So most of them were in that kind of space.
Right.
Yeah. And so when they knew how to act, they were good at acting. So now it's changing that stage to TV.
Right.
Yeah, personality.
Amazing. Yeah. Now, both those shows came to an end. How do you know when it's time to now put down the pen and the paper and say, this is where it ends for this show?
When the money stops coming.
Plain and simple. Because a level of people had broken.
Yeah. I mean, we did the show, like Hapakule ran for a couple of years.
Yeah.
We won 2 awards, Best TV Show and Best Comedy.
Right.
But I think also when a show is on TV for too long.
Yes.
What's it called? It's called viewer apathy.
Yeah.
People kind of now get really used to it and now kind of tired of it. And even the licensing partners, either KTN or NTV, start seeing kind of like numbers are dropping simply because of apathy.
Right.
And so normally the thing is take the show off air for a while, let guys miss it, and then bring it back now with a bang.
Right.
And that's what we did. Like when it ended on KTN, we took I think our haters for about, I think like 2-3 months.
Right.
Brought it back on NTV and it just blew up again.
Right.
You know, and then it did its run on NTV for a couple of years and then ended as well. Yeah.
And how has it been now for the actors who have been on those shows?
Their lives have changed. I can guarantee that. From when they started to where they are right now, their lives have changed because, you know, they're getting endorsements all over the place.
Right.
The fame. I'm glad to see the fame has not really gotten to their heads. There's some people who, I've seen it happen.
Yeah. No mentioning names.
Yeah, no mentioning names. But they're all pretty level-headed, and I'm really happy about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, not only for the actors, but also for guys like you, the directors, the script writers, it's also just brought you onto a whole other playing field. Abel Mutua and Phil went on to work on together. Of course, after years of a lot of hard work and struggles, but they got to the point where they are where they are. How is it seeing now all your colleagues kind of like just, you know, taking ownership of the industry and taking it to another level?
It's amazing. It's amazing to see that, and that's the dream at the end of the day.
Right.
You know, you don't struggle from acting on top of tabletops, set books, you know, to doing that for the rest of your life. You know, the idea is always to grow to the next level.
Right.
And I'm glad to see that everyone in their own way has grown in their space. And then it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Now, the creative industry, speaking about struggles in the creative industry, how do you compare it to when you started and how it is now? Are the opportunities growing, or is there still room? There's still a lot needed to happen.
Right now, social media has brought a whole new aspect into it, because when I was like at the theater, when we started TV, there was no social media.
Right.
You know, there was no YouTube. Well, I think there was YouTube. Was there YouTube?
Yeah, there was YouTube. Yeah.
2004.
There was
YouTube. Yeah, but YouTube is not what it was now. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. Facebook, Insta, TikTok. You know.
Right.
The spaces for creativity right now are so vast for anyone. You know, like everyone's dream back then was to be on a TV show, be on a movie. That's what you were striving for. That's what you wanted to do.
To be on TV.
You wanted to be on TV. You wanted to be on radio. Yeah, you had to be on those 10,000.1 FM.
Exactly.
You know, like you had to be there.
Right.
Yeah, you had to be there. And that was the only way you'd make it in this industry.
To be respected and to be called a celebrity and have money.
But now, look at the social media space has brought us so much.
Yeah.
You know, it's brought us Icon Radio. You know, which is bloody amazing. Well done, Myra.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so you see, everyone is creating their own space.
Right.
And I think that's the brilliance of the industry right now.
Right.
Like you don't have to work at the big broadcast station to actually make it.
100%.
You don't have to act on a TV show somewhere and actually make it. You can just do stupid things online and earn money.
I know, because content creators right now, the likes of Akina Jugush, Aziad, who I absolutely love. Yes. That's why people even hate on her. Like, she is making coins and she's very strategic about it.
Such an amazing person. You know, I auditioned her for a show when I was at Protel.
Okay.
It was called Blossom of the Savannah. It's a set book. And she did such an amazing job in the auditions. This is before the Aziad we know.
Right.
Yeah. And then COVID hit and then we couldn't do the show because of COVID.
Right.
Yeah, and then now during that COVID break is when Aziad now
blew up.
I was like,
exactly.
Wow. Like, I know her, you know. Yeah.
In fact, speaking about that, content creation and acting, do you feel like it's kind of like watered down the scene or brought new life to it? From the likes of Crazy Kenna, Flacco, all these guys who do skits on social media. What kind of impact do you think it has on the creative scene?
That's a good one. Definitely. Well, you see, it's a different space. Definitely, it has slightly watered down the art. Yes.
Right.
It being that it's the same thing we did for Apakule News. Like, we really just made fun of things for the sake of making fun. There was no real talent or like Shakespearean speaking right there. You know, like artistic value. You know, just being stupid. All the time. You know, and that's what the industry. Well, that's what now social media has.
Right.
You know, I still encourage people, if you want to get in that space, kind of get to understand the fundamentals of the art. Because the only way you break the rules if you understand the rules. You know, and I see a lot of content creators struggling with that online. You know, like this, it's the small things that kind of make your content not get where you want it to be. So I will always encourage guys, just learn at least, you know, right now YouTube, you know, like University of YouTube is there. You know, you can just Google stuff and understand why this camera angle is like this, why you should speak like this in certain times, why, you know, just the small things, and that really help their content, even as online creators. Yeah.
It's very interesting that you say that, because yes, of course, for those who have been doing it for a very long time, the thespians, and they're coming back onto the stage, you know, they kind of like are really not prescribing to it, and kind of like almost turn down their noses to what's happening on social media right now. Do you think it would eventually also just, you know, can be translated to the screen in a different way, especially for you as a director? If it was just given a little bit of finesse, do you think that, because Dave Chappelle did it with his show, Comedy Central was all about that. Do you think you as a director would be able to create a space like that now for the creatives that exist online and take it to mainstream?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The space is there, and the opportunity is there, and the talent is there. So that is something definitely, once we just sit down, a couple of guys, create, you know, do treatments, you know, create scripts, because I know script writing is not really big with social media, guys. You know, just go and go for it. I always encourage you guys, just write something down, even though it's in prose, or almost, just write something that will give you a guide.
Does your eye usually twitch, you know, when you see something?
Like spasms and like, sometimes it is painful to watch, just as a director, and even sometimes I don't even watch my own stuff, because sometimes I go like, I should have done this different.
Your biggest critique.
I am my work. Oh God, I can't even watch with my wife. She gets so pissed off when I'm watching with her, because I'll not shut up.
All right,
and it's my work.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, definitely. It gets a bit cringy at some point. Yes.
Now, you had something to tell me before the break about the awards for Real Househelps of Kawangware. I don't know if you remember. Something you said you'll tell me later. Okay, we'll take a water break.
We'll take that,
Yes, and let you, you know, taking some air kidogo so that you can remember.
I can remember what I wanted to say.
Yes, so you can remember what you wanted to say. Because let me tell you, me, I love gossip, okay? I love when you tell me to fruition, it's only I'm not to cut you off, and I feel so bad. I'm like those people who, like, you know, I'm the curious cat. So we're going to fish out that story and find it out during the break. But when we come back, we'll now be looking at one of the biggest shows on TV right now. That is the Real Housewives of Nairobi. And I'm so excited to say that I know somebody who's doing it and sneaking into your luggage whenever you do a cast trip. Just know that whatever you need me to be, I'll be a water girl. I am there. All right. All right. We'll be coming back with more with Waithaka Mukuria. Remember, you can send in your comments and questions on 0788380030 or on youtube.com/at Icon Radio KE or on any of the Icon Radio KE platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Let's get back into the music, and we'll be back after this.
The Breakfast Jam with Myra Maloba.
We are back with Waithaka Mukuria on the Breakfast Jam, where we are talking everything the creative industry, from real life to scripted. Of course, everybody usually believes that reality shows are scripted. Everybody, including me. At first, I never used to believe. I'd be like, no, there's no way. But nowadays, even I spoil whatever my sister is watching because I'm like, these guys are acting. Stop investing. What is your problem? But yes, you have now gotten into the world of reality TV. You took reality TV onto the screens and reenacted it through Househelps of Kawangware. But now you're really in it, 10 toes deep. First of all, how is it being surrounded by all that opulence on the Real Housewives of Nairobi?
Wow, I don't know where to start. These women are fantastic. Mm-hmm. They're absolutely fantastic women, absolutely gorgeous,
right?
And opulent.
Yes,
and it's real. Like it's not.
It's not make believe.
Don't make believe.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was good sharing their air. Smelled cleaner than ours. Yeah.
The beautiful perfume.
Yes.
Hey, all the things. Let me ask you, is it pressure going home to your wife after all of that?
It's work first, home later. It's work home balance.
My god, because let me tell you, if it was you being my husband, I'd be like, listen, you're not bringing that into my home, okay? Whatever you saw there, you're back in.
But I talked to her a lot about it,
right?
Shooting and stuff. So she was kind of like part of the process.
Oh, nice. Maybe I feel pressure. Being surrounded by all of that, people are wearing designer clothes. I love it. But anyway, big shout out to Wifey Villa, who said she's tuned in. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show. Says loving the show. Shout out to Waithaka and Myra. Big shout out to you as well. Salimia Wifey. Salimia.
Umesalimika? Nataka chai.
Okay. Domestics later. Now, how did you get on such a big project? Because this is a worldwide brand. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's viewed by millions across the world. The franchises who are out there are already sharing it highly. And to get on as the director of such a big show, how did you get on it, and how does it feel to fit into those big shoes?
Well, it was a process, and so I'd applied for jobs at DNR Studios.
Right.
They do a lot of reality stuff and documentaries, which I'm very interested in.
Okay.
And one day I got a call from Carol Ngunjiri, and she's like the production manager there. It's like, I come over for an interview, and I interview with Eugene Bogwa.
Okay.
And like a month later, they called me. They're like, "Hey, come on over.
Nice.
You're going to be the content director."
Okay.
And I was like, "Wow, yay! Fantastic." And then we go through training. So there's a lady from South Africa who came in, Valentino, and she came to train us because at the end of the day, Housewives is a format.
Yes. It's
a format.
Yes.
Oh, I remember what I wanted to tell you before.
Okay.
So the whole beginning of Housewives shooting, I kept calling it Househelps because I was so used to it.
Right.
And guys got so pissed off with me all the time.
Right. I can imagine.
Because now, I've been so used to saying Househelps for so long.
Right.
Like on Housewives, I'm calling them Househelps. Wow.
I can imagine the daggers that were shot at you every single time.
Yeah, before I just got used to saying Housewives,
it
took me a minute.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I got confused myself when I was introducing you the other day. So I can imagine what you were going through.
It was crazy. So I started off actually as content director. We called CDs. Basically, a CD is in charge of the content, like how the show flows. Okay, and basically the storylines.
Right.
And we had a series director called SD who was there, and we were just working through the content. So without giving out too many industry secrets, it's basically we kind of like try and plot situations, put the women in certain situations, and then let them just carry the situations.
Right.
Yeah, like I put Myra and Bilha at where? La Venture.
Right.
At 2:00 for lunch.
Okay.
To discuss her upcoming radio show.
Right.
That's it.
Okay.
They
take off from there.
And the women will take off from there. And because they're so brilliant, normally they give us what we need most of the time.
Because like I was telling you between the breaks, a lot of these shows are indeed scripted. And a lot of the scenarios, sometimes you tend to see a lot of retakes, and sometimes even the fourth wall is broken, and you see them showing them saying, "No, no, 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 we need to take that again. Can we come from the top?" Does that tend to happen with now the show that you are directing right now?
No, it does not. Everything you see is real.
Amazing.
Everything happened. There are no retakes. There are no reshoots.
Wow.
We actually go as is.
Okay.
And that's the beauty of the format, because it needs to look authentic.
Right.
It needs to look real. It needs to look like it's actually happening. Because now people are so smart, they can tell. They can tell when something is inauthentic. And
Right.
with a franchise like Housewives,
Yeah.
you cannot afford to have inauthentic women, because if you can't believe those women, who will you believe?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how is it, again, filling in those shoes? Because it's a whole new landscape, especially for Africa. A lot of criticism comes in, especially from the Western world, where guys are like, it's Africa, why should I watch?
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of that on the socials. How is it now just depicting the lives of these women and bringing it onto the screens?
So when I got the job, the SD job, it was tough.
Yeah.
Because then I'm working also with a team, behind me who, everyone knows everything. And it's also like, of course, it's a team of a lot of women. I'm content meeting and I'm the only man among like 12 women.
Right.
Not the easiest thing to do.
I can imagine.
Or is a space to be in. Especially these women have watched every single franchise.
Right.
They know everyone, so
Right.
it was also me learning as well.
Yeah.
I had to now sit down because I only watched the African franchise. I watched Durban, Joburg, and Lagos.
Okay.
And Dubai as well, I think.
Right.
But then later on I realized I need to like diversify. And I started watching from Beverly Hills, Atlanta, just trying to catch up on the show and stuff like that, just to understand where these women are and what guys are doing out there.
Right.
And just using that kind of information, you get a feel for a scene.
Right.
So I had under me a lady called Carla, another called Oprah Oyugi, who are brilliant CDs as well. And they kind of help the process as well, create the scenes, create the space, the environment, try to make it look also that, opulent and good, because we are competing on international stage.
Very much
not just
so.
Africa.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is the best one in Africa at the moment right now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So far, yes.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. And we hope it will stay that way. But, and it's the latest baby on the block, so everyone is all eyes on it right now.
Yeah.
But as like I can tell you for free that the episodes just keep getting better.
Okay.
For people who will follow every day Thursday from about 6 p.m.
Right.
The shows just keep getting better.
How hard do you have to push them to put out their lives? Because they're putting out their entire lives for the world to see.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't easy for them. It was not easy. We had good and bad days.
Right.
Because exhaustion, tiredness, and sometimes also just like you had a crew of about 40 people storm your house early in the morning at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
To interrupt your entire life, and now you do the whole day. So it was hard for the women.
But they knew what they were getting themselves
They understood, they understood the assignment.
Right.
They knew that this has to happen.
Right.
And we are going to be in your face with you. Whatever you say, whenever you say it, it will be recorded.
Right.
And we are going to broadcast it.
So what has been the biggest triumph and the biggest challenge shooting this particular show?
Well, I think the biggest challenge was the cast being tired.
Yeah.
Because we had a deadline to beat.
Right.
We had to finish shooting by this time.
Okay.
But you can't push a human being to a certain length. Someone's gonna break, and we couldn't have any of our cast break.
Right.
Any of our cast actually have a mental breakdown simply because they are overexhausted or they're tired. So we kind of had to balance the two. Yeah.
Right.
Also, behind the scenes as well, in any production, there's always drama. Like we were saying, I think most of the drama was behind the scenes. What you guys were watching was nothing. BTS was a lot.
I need to be your PA. Okay, Waithaka, just give me that job.
Yeah. But definitely the end result. The end result is fantastic. That is all we were shooting for. Once you know what you want and get all we need is the end result.
Right.
That's what we're shooting for. We're shooting for an amazing 12 episodes. And that's what we need to finish.
Right.
Yeah.
So Kenya tends to be a very conservative country. I think we tend to think we're very conservative, but we took a ground different.
Yes.
Okay. And there are a lot of things that come into play in terms of the laws. We talked about that during the break. The laws and of course some of the things they're able to portray. How blurry is the line, and how much are you able to bring to the screen with that being given, especially because of the moral high ground Kenya tends to come from? Now let me give you an example. I watched the show. We had a watch party of our own with my girls. Shout out to Angel, Triza, and Dama. And we actually got into a shouting match over one scene. Like, I'm still in the room, and we got into a literal shouting match for getting to the baby over there because of one particular scene where they were talking about plastic surgery. Very Sidika. And there was a time she did the cloud chasing thing, and she came out and said that she was removing her implants. And my point was, there are a lot of girls who are going through that right now, and there should be at least a trigger warning for some of these girls. And they were like, coming from their Kode side, I am nobody's role model. Okay, so coming from the end of, she owes nobody anything, right? So when it kind of plays out like that, and you should be very happy that we are fighting over a scene on a Kenyan reality show. First of all, kudos to you guys.
Love it
for doing that, because you have managed to evoke emotions. So know that this is going very well. But that moral high ground that you sometimes have to step over, how is it trying to bring that onto the screen?
Well, that's like you said, it's a very thin line. Where what's to show, what's not to show.
Right.
At the end of the day, a lot of the buck lies with the women, the people on set. Yeah. There are definitely some things that as the showrunner or as a director, as the producers, we cannot show simply because Kenya.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But stuff that happened on social media that has already happened and played its course.
Right.
Talking about it,
it's fair game.
That's fair game. That's
right.
Fine. Yeah. Because that's something that actually happened.
It did.
That's reality. Reality.
Yes.
So it actually happened.
Just like under the veil, kind of just like
watch it today on Showmax.
Oh God.
From 6 p.m.
Right.
Yes.
By the way, there is a lot of talk of divorce. Was it easy for the ladies to kind of because there were just a few mentions that, but a lot of us wanted to know a little bit more. Is it easy to push them to tell more about their lives?
Definitely, it being episode 1,
there
was not much to tell. They're also not as open as they would have liked to be.
But
moving on, any TV is storytelling.
Okay.
So the more you get to watch, the more you know about the women, the more you'll understand what happened,
right?
When it happened, how it happened.
Yeah. What exclusive thing can you drop for us without having to say which episode it was? We can look forward to. They do it out there. So it's not you're not breaking the rules. What do you think we should kind of look out for as the series develops that would be unique?
Look at the relationships between the women.
Okay.
How they have started.
Okay.
And how they will end. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good tidbit.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
Because at the end of the day, sorry, just one more thing.
Yes.
The show is not drama 24/7.
Okay.
There's a lot of emotional scenes as well.
Yes.
There are a lot of these women opening up a lot about themselves.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to direct something that just has drama. Because drama does get tiring after a while.
True.
So they are less about themselves, emotional scenes, stuff like that you get to know more about them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, to finish off this link, of course, you're literally surrounding a room full of creatives, aspiring creatives, a lot of guys who want to aspire to do what you're doing. What would you, coming from where you've come from to now, what would you tell them as you have grown up in this industry?
I'll sound like a broken record, but there's no other formula. Just do it.
Yes.
Yeah, just
don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. Just do it. Do whatever you can, however you can, whenever you can.
Right.
And the universe will conspire. It really does. It conspires around you. Keep your mind set. Understand the rules, like I said.
Yeah.
Before you break them. And don't stop.
Don't stop. Very nice.
Mm.
All right. We're taking a break with one song because we have to let Waithaka go. But he has very graciously agreed to do for us a little bit of head that after this. So stand by for that because we haven't jammed together in such a long time. So I'm looking forward to this 100%. Okay. So stand by for headphone karaoke with Waithaka Mukuria. And if you have any last bit of questions, please bring them in. And we have a few coming in, so we'll sample those when we come back after the break. One more song, then we come back with some of your questions and finish off with headphone karaoke right here on the Breakfast Jam. All right, so we are back with Waithaka Mukuria. It's been an interesting show. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Anytime.
We have one more question from Jane Nganga who says, how real is the show? How is it a representative of the Real Housewives?
Housewives is a franchise. It's a franchise that's worldwide. Yeah. So everything that you see happening is actually very real.
Right.
It actually happens.
Right.
And it happens according to the format brought to us by the people who actually did the first time.
Right.
Yes.
Because there's always that thing of people that are like, this can't be real.
Yeah.
Especially in, urban Kenya.
Yeah.
Some guys don't believe these things actually happen.
It is all real.
It is all real.
To be a real housewife,
yes,
that is how you're supposed to be. That's how you're supposed to act.
Yes.
That's who you're supposed to be.
Right.
Yes.
Now, the other question that came up is called Real Housewives. There's some people on that show who have never been a housewife. Do you get criticism about that sometimes, or as the show rolled out?
Like who?
I don't know. That was a criticism online.
Oh,
hey, don't throw stones at me. But I think there was a question of Mine that she has been in a relationship with this guy for the longest time, but they're not sure whether there was a ring on it. So the show is called Real Housewives. How is it that she made it to the cast? And and I think maybe Vera Sidika, maybe because we didn't see the wedding, but she calls her husband, So those are the questions that were coming up a lot online.
I'm glad those are, all those questions are explained in the show.
Okay.
Yeah. So just keep watching. By the
keep watching.
You'll
You're
understand.
Not giving it away.
Yeah,
you are about to. You are this close. This close.
Yeah.
Okay, so watch the show.
Yeah.
It's now. Could you plug the show where it's airing? What times? What days?
So the Real Housewives, Househelps of Nairobi. There you go again. The Real Housewives of Nairobi.
Showmax
today, every Thursday from 6 p.m.
Every Thursday from 6 p.m. on
Showmax.
Reruns? Are there any reruns we can catch?
It's on Showmax, so
everything is on
Showmax.
Oh, that's
so
how Showmax works.
That's how Showmax. So you can watch it anytime if you like.
Right.
After it comes on air.
You can rewind.
You can rewind forward.
Every of those people look, I watch a scene, I'm like, wait, let's go back.
Go back to it. Yeah.
So you can do that with Showmax.
Yes,
very nice. All right, you've heard it here with Waithaka Mukuria, who is the series director of Real Housewives of Kawangware. What more do we have to look forward to? Oh, Nairobi! Oh my God.
You have it now.
You know what? We're just gonna get you to sing right now. We're done with giving titles to shows. When on my drama, I blame you. I blame you. I'm so sorry. Okay, what do we have to look forward to for the future of Waithaka Mukuria in this industry? That's my final question.
There are a few projects I'm working on. I'm doing a lot of writing now.
Nice.
Hopefully, a new series coming up.
Okay.
And season 2 of Housewives of Nairobi.
All right.
Yeah.
Those ratings need to go high, so you guys need to watch.
Please watch. Yes.
So we go up to season infinity, all right?
Correct.
Okay, so we're getting into headphone karaoke. I've literally just squeezed his arm to do one of my favorite songs that he used to do in karaoke. That's Here Without You by 3 Doors Down. Now, I'm hoping this, I don't know, can this hear him, the headphones? Can they hear him? Sorry? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna be in the background cheering you on as you do this particular song. So we have the golden mic over here, and all you have to do is sing into it, and follow the lyrics on the screen. You know how this goes.
Yes,
you could do this.
Don't judge my talent on my voice.
Okay, we will not judge. All right, so we will not make this headphone karaoke for now, because also we don't take up any more of your time. We'll just make this karaoke and do your thing. This is Waithaka Mukuria bringing for us a headphone karaoke, or another karaoke with 3 Doors Down. Let's give it up for the boy. Hey! All right, let's get into it.
Days have made me older since the last time that I saw your pretty face. 1,000 lives have made me colder, and I don't think I can look at this the same. But all the miles that separate, they disappear now when I'm dreaming of your face. I'm here without you, baby, but you're my lonely mind. I think about you, baby, and I dream about you all the time. I'm here without you, baby, but you're still in my dreams. And tonight, it's only you. Okay. The miles just keep rolling as the people leave their way to say hello. I've heard this life is overrated, but I hope it gets way better as we go. Yeah. Join me, man. I'm here without you, baby, but you're still my lonely mind. I think about you, baby, and I dream about you all the time. I'm here without you, baby, you're still with me in my dreams. And tonight, girl, it's only you and me, everything I know, and everywhere I go. It gets hard, but it won't take away my love. When the last one falls, when it's all said and done, but it won't take away my love. Whoa, I'm here without you, baby, but you're still on my lonely mind. Think about you, baby, and I dream about you all the time. Here without you, baby, I'm still with me in my dreams. And tonight, girl, it's only you and me. Yeah, free for karaoke every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Well done, my friend. Well done. Just like the old days. That was really dope. Thank you so much for taking part in my headphone karaoke, or rather just my karaoke. And of course, being here on the show, it was really great having you here. And we look forward to what you're going to be doing in the future. And of course, for the creative industry, for guys who want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
They can find me IG Waithaka. Yeah.
Waithaka.
Yes. WHYTHACAR.
There we go.
Yes.
I love that name always. Yes.
Yeah. So just reach out on there. That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. All right. Thank you so much. We'll let you go. But guys, take care. We're gonna finish off with the show when we come back, and we'll. So if you have any more questions for Waithaka, we'll send them straight to him, and then send the answer straight to you. All right. Let's get back into the music as we continue on with your throwback therapy.
Kwanza meni ni madinga mazei na enesina. Superstar kwa ma3 na mafans kwa bima. Nimebambwa na karao na chapa sina. Stima zijabamba nimevuta shada nzima. Hata nimetoka bila sima. Nikao ufike stage alafu speaker zikazima. Na uwanja umejaa na mafan zima. Ni kama drought ikivisit wakulima. Ni kama chali wako akinoki your best friend. Huna chapa unataka hanye kila weekend. Umeiba gari ya Buddha tena ni Benz. Umeigonga na huna ends. Chali mzuri anajidai ati he can't be mine cause Zayn and I. Nimeshikwa nikidish ni Ramadhani. Tena nimebambwa live kwa sahani. Nimefanya bala huko nyumbani. Na kila nikisema hawataki samahani. Situations iko nyingi, zingine ziko poa na zingine hazishiki. Mbona drama tuka wingi, kila sabala na sijaishi miaka nyingi. Nikienda mjini, look like a suspect, juu hadi chini. Situation ni nyingi, situation ni nyingi.
Girl, she want to drink Nordic ice, and in a me glass me can afford even ice. Me write a letter to a girl, telling her how much I love her in a mirror. Me saying 17 weeks me await, not a word from her, not even a phone call. She want me wear diamond ring, but in a me wallet only got me ID. Me go to visit to her house, knock up on the door, find her with another spouse. Me find her with her arms around him, physically pleasing at your best to arouse him. Me turn around with me anger, little did I know that I was gonna meet her.
Changa kuona polisi wanakuja kama 20. Nimedata sijui nitafanya nini, na nikikamatwa na bangi miezi 6 naye kwa ndani. Nyumbani wamekuja wageni mimi sina pesa, haiwezekani, yani hata soda atashindwa kunywa. Mwenye na njana sina hela chakula, na shindwa kuelewa niteza lala bila kula. Nadaiwa deni sijui nitalilipa vipi, na natakiwa nililipe leo. Pesa leo nitapata wapi? Nimempade mimba kwa bahati mbaya, nyumbani kwao kafukuzwa mamake anadai malaya. Kila nikimwambia itoe hataki, na anasema nikisema sio mimba yangu atanishtaki. Lini nitakuwa rosto bye bye, kila siku sina rally, lini nitafurahi. Baba na force twende nikapima ukimwi, mimi naogopa sijui itakwaje nikikutwa na ukimwi.
Situations iko nyingi, zingine ziko poa na zingine hazishiki. Mbona drama tuka wingi, kila sabala na sijaishi miaka nyingi. Nikienda mjini, look like a suspect, juu hadi chini. Situation ni nyingi, situation ni nyingi. Situations iko nyingi, zingine ziko poa na zingine hazishiki. Mbona drama tuka wingi, kila sabala na sijaishi miaka nyingi. Nikienda mjini, look like a suspect, juu hadi chini. Situation ni nyingi, situation ni nyingi.
Walikuwa mweza mutumia city hopper, lakini squeeze mula na machopa. Mezesha matracks wanga DJ tu ndio wanastuka kuniona kwa keyboard mwenda wazimu. Mezesha
simu hizi squeeze noma Kiswahili, ukikisle moja mimi na Kiswahili.
Nimeta matracks timu wize, mara ingine tu. Hizo mikono tu, hizo mikono tu, hizo mikono tu, hizo mikono. Kama umekazwa na umekosa choo, wefungua akili mezesha kwa ndoo. Kaa kivyo kusifuatane kako ndoo, komeshindwa kugrow, komeshindwa kuflow. Kupayuka kama mother wepunguza tunabo. Ini mwaka yetu kumezesha ntio zetu, ni wasani majitu, tena watatu. Wanasumbua sana airwaves na matatu. Hini genge tunaleta hivyo, ni mimi team na matrack shizo. California sisi bado tuko, tunamezeshea bado tuko huko. nasumbua chiki nikiroga, nasumbua juu na machopa, lakini bado mafans ndio masonko, juu bila wao mi siwezi tuo kuongo. Walikuwa mweza mtu mia city mopa, lakini squeeze mula na machopa. Mezesha matracks wanga DJ tu ndio wanashtuka kuniona kwa keyboard mwenda wazimu. Mezesha
simu hizi squeeze noma Kiswahili, ukikiste moja mimi na Kiswahili.
Mezesha tracks team wize, mara ingine tu hizo mikono tu hizo mikono tu hizo mikono.
Mezesha right there with Jim White Major and Matrize playing on the Breakfast Jam, where we're all about your vibes and of course your throwback music. We do have Bilha checking in and saying karaoke is a must. Amazing show and interview. Thank you so much, Bilha, for tuning in and being here with us. We appreciate your presence. Also says Wabe Rocket, yeah. Hey, for those who don't know, I used to host karaoke shows and I used to host these people, this rowdy bunch of guys. I used to be absolutely fun. So we've made a promise here with Waithaka that we're gonna actually just get back into it and do a few karaoke, shows just for ish and giggles and just go back to the old times, because that's what used to be a real stress reliever come Thursdays. And it's gonna be great to get back to that as we are, adulting. All right. Speaking of events, remember Masaku is going to be hosting the Benjamin Ayimba Rugby Legacy Tournament, which you'll be able to check out between the 7th and 9th of April. All you have to do is purchase your tickets on tikiti.co.ke, mtickets.com, and hope.org, and Hustle Sasa, and you would be able to get action-packed Easter weekend and also entertainment at the village. We're going to be having a great lineup of DJs, music, and of course vendors who are just going to bring for you just absolute opulence that you can feel for yourself, even without being a housewife. All right, so be sure to cop your tickets and book your hotels early, because it fills up very, very fast. And don't forget that we're also going to be on ground. Icon Radio crew and presenters are going to be there, so you could interact with them live and direct. So get in on that action and be sure not to miss out, because at Easter is going to be one for the books. All right, we hate, love, and leave. I'm coming back for the vault, so don't move an inch. Between 10 and 12 noon, we're going to be having the boys, the Radius crew on radio. That is Jirongi, Jimmy the Beat Maker, DJ Malji, who has now joined the fold, and of course myself. So whatever you need to know in the world of hip hop, is tune in to see what Jirongi has been up to. Like, Jirongi has been a busy man on social media. So for all that beef and all that exclusive, be sure to tune in this hour, because we're exactly at 10:02 a.m. All right, guys, I gotta go. We'll see you in the next hour, or rather in the next few minutes. Marcy Wanjiru, thank you so much for checking in. She says, great show. Thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate the love. We love you right back. We'll see you again tomorrow, same time on the Breakfast Jam.
This goes out to all your players. Some people will love you, hate you. Some people will always irritate you. Some people will try to play a hate to you. Some people sabotage you. 'Cause this is my Maisha. Don't you mess with my Maisha. 'Cause if you mess with my Maisha, I will mess
mimi, chakula jioni unipatii mimi, chakula asubuhi ninawapa muziki, lakini vile nawapa hamunihisi, basi inanibidi nikiwapa muziki niwape muziki hivi. Ninawapa muziki, lakini vile nawapa hamunihisi, basi inanibidi nikiwapa muziki niwape muziki hivi.
The Breakfast Jam with Myra Maloba.
From 254 to the world, it's all about that hip-hop culture. You're listening to The Vault.
De La Funk Dambola Hip Hop na Dig Down Records, chumvi ya majuto, amboni yangu usio. Ndani ya nchi yangu na porwa ardhi uso mfu, nyuso za watu wafu, tumekufa nyoyo, hai bila ardhi hatupati katu. Viongozi wasaliti halmashauri na wawekezaji, wanasaliti maendeleo rasilimali ardhi, nikidai haki na tupo korokoroni, wanaharibu mazao shambani, watoto hawendi chooni, wamembomoa nyumba, misimamo kama imani, kula ni kazi, pasipo ardhi ni kazi gani? Kumtenganisha mtu na ardhi ni kosa, ni kumtaka afe, kumtaka asizikwe akidondoka. Babu zetu walikuwa manamba kuchumia tumbo, king umekufa umetuachia chumvi ya majuto.